This television. Let's get to our headlines. With International Women's Day 2026 just around the corner, attention is not only on celebrations and empowerment initiatives, but also on the question of what to wear. Rising fabric prices are pushing many women to reconsider traditional costume-made outfits, turning instead to ready-to-wear options as a practical alternative. Cameroon faces long-standing disputes over land that affect social harmony and economic progress. Implementing thoughtful reforms offers an opportunity to resolve tensions, attract investment, and strengthen national unity, paving the way for a more stable and prosperous future. And we shall be taking a tour out of the country where escalating hostilities between Iran, the United States and Israel have extended beyond their direct confrontation, drawing the United Arab Emirates into the fallout. These stories and more will be yours in a bit. Thanks once more for joining us. We begin the news where the Minister of Forestry and Wildlife, Jules Doré Ndongo, has launched a comprehensive medical screening campaign for female staff in celebration of the International Women's Day 2026. The initiative, which includes free screenings for cervical cancer with no age restriction, aims to prioritize the wellness of staff and promote a healthy workforce. Elise Yanda and Melanimbo were present and brought back the following report.
The Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife has launched a comprehensive medical screening campaign dedicated exclusively to its female personnel. The initiative, announced by Erem Delphine Bola, technical advisor at the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife, aims to promote staff wellness and ensure a healthy workforce capable of delivering on the ministry's crucial mandate.
Today we are implementing one of our activities within the framework of the celebration of the International Women's Day 2026 in the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife. We are doing a medical checkup, and to this we have earmarked a series of tests to be conducted to all the ladies in the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife. The purpose of doing this exercise is for us to ensure that we are in good health, because without a healthy staff, we cannot deliver the work that has been put for us to do.
The exercise includes a series of vital tests designed to check the medical status of the women in the department. This initiative underscores the proactive approach to healthcare within the public service.
We want to thank the minister for this initiative because these opportunities are very rare. We want to thank him because he has the women of the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife at heart. So we want to sincerely thank him, and we continue that this exercise will continue in the ministry such that the ladies, the women in the ministry are healthy for a better output.
They extended profound gratitude to the Minister of Forestry and Wildlife for championing the cause, describing the opportunity as very rare.
Analysis of MINFOF staff, there is no age limit. It is for every staff, female staff that is working in the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife, because all of us have our respective assignment to deliver. So there is no age limit. Everybody is involved in the exercise of health check.
The purpose of the exercise is to ensure that all female staff members are in optimal health, ultimately leading to better results in the field.
Screening is free, and we are encouraging all the staff, the female staff, to come and do the screening. Also, the other advantage is that we have some tests that we can do at a reduced rate. So the ministry, the service in charge has given us this opportunity to do other tests other than the one that we have earmarked on cancer of the cervix, and the rates are really reduced. We also want to thank them for this collaboration.
The organizers confirmed that the screening is open to all female staff members with no age restrictions, emphasizing that every woman, regardless of her rank or age, has a role to play in the ministry's success and deserves access to the service.
And as you heard in one of our lead stories, the 2026 edition of the International Women's Day comes up in less than a week, while various structures are organizing activities to empower women. The aspect of outfit is not left out. Faced with the rising price of the fabric, ready-made outfits seem to be a better option for some women, as we gather in the following report compiled to us by Promise Akante and Elise Yanda.
Be it artificial scarcity created by vendors or an actual shortage of supplies in regards to the demand, one thing is for sure: obtaining the Women's Day fabric is a difficult equation for most people in Yaoundé and elsewhere across the country. Truly, when the Women's Day fabric comes out, we have difficulty in having them, making our work difficult. In a bid to mitigate this scarcity, some women choose to go for the ready-made kabas, but that too is not a smooth ride. I just asked about the loin and they said it is 15,000 francs, so I see it is better to just buy the one that is already sewn, costing 8 to 20,000 francs. What I have in hand here, he asked for 16,000 francs. You can bargain and get for 12 or 13,000 francs. But with the loin, you will buy for 15,000 to sew your style for how much? You may end up spending 30,000 francs. It is expensive. Tailors and vendors say the price of the kabas are defined by the accessories used in their production. Kabas are from 5,000 francs upwards. It depends on the design and the quality of material used to mix it. The cheapest kabas that I have here cost between 8 to 25,000 francs because there are kabas that are made of very high quality, so much work. 15,000 francs for this because I added straw and other materials. Often accused of buying the Women's Day fabric, stocking up and creating artificial scarcity to inflate prices, tailors and vendors say they are equally victims of the instability of the cost of the fabric. What is disturbing is the cost of the loin, which is not stable. If they could maintain the cost at 10,000 francs, it would allow us to sew kabas a little less expensive. We have problems with our customers. They tend to believe that we are the ones hiding the loins. Every year there is shortage. I don't know how it happens for the cost of the loins to increase every day, but we are the ones being insulted every day. With the countdown to March 8 narrowing, women are reminded that they must not wear the fabric of 2026 to celebrate and make their voices heard.
Let's now talk something else about land reform, where Cameroon is a country where land is more than a physical territory. It's a collective memory, an economic lifeline, and a cornerstone of identity. For decades, the complexities of land ownership and management have fueled conflict, misunderstanding, and mistrust among citizens, investors, and the state. Bertrand Teta tells us more in the following commentary.
With the appointment of Minister Henry Eyebe IC at the helm of the Ministry of State Properties, Surveys and Land Tenure, Cameroon is embarking on the transformative journey to overhaul its land sector. The modernization of land governance is a critical step in this journey. The digitalization of cadastral procedures, secure achieving and strengthened administrative controls are designed to restore citizens and investors trust by ensuring transparency and traceability of land titles. This move is expected to boost confidence in the land market, stimulate economic growth, and reduce dispute over land ownership. Another vital aspect of the land reform is the recognition of customary realities. By involving traditional authorities in land security processes, Minister Henry Eyebe IC is promoting inclusion and acknowledging the importance of customary land tenure systems. Professional customary rights attestations are being issued to help prevent conflicts, especially in rural areas, and bring administration closer to the people. This approach is expected to empower local communities, particularly women and marginalized groups, to assert their land rights and benefit from land-based investments. Enforcing the law is the third strategic focus of the land reforms. The suspension of irregular projects, cancellation of disputed titles, and strict adherence to standards send a clear message. The state is regaining control of a sector critical to national stability. This move is expected to deter land grabbing, protect the rights of vulnerable population, and promote responsible land investment. The impact of these reforms is already being felt. In 2025, over 500,000 land titles were distributed, marking a significant step towards securing land tenure for Cameroonians. The ministry's budget for 2026, amounting to 28.328 billion CFA francs, is expected to further accelerate the implementation of these reforms. As Cameroon embarks on this journey, question remains about the challenge at hand. How would the government address the issue of land concentration and ensure that the benefit of land reforms are equitably shared? How will traditional authorities be integrated into the land governance system, and what mechanism will be put in place to prevent conflicts between customary and statutory land rights? Despite these challenges, the land reform in Cameroon represents a significant step towards promoting social peace, sustainable development, and economic growth. By combining administrative reforms, inclusion of traditional chiefdoms, and regulatory rigor, Minister Henry Eyebe IC is progressively reshaping Cameroon's land system, offering a beacon of hope for a more equitable and prosperous future.
The careful use of pesticides is essential to protect both health and the environment. Experts advised the reading and following of a product level is the simplest way to ensure a safe and responsible application. Promise Akante or Sharon Aratani tells us more in the following report.
Pesticides are widely used in modern agriculture to protect crops from insects, weeds, fungi, and other destructive organisms, classified into categories such as insecticides, herbicides, and fungicides. These chemical products are designed to improve crop yields and ensure food security.
There are those who act in a systematic way. Before, there were insecticides to fight against insects, fungicide to fight against fungi, herbicide to fight against weed, nematicide to fight against nematodes.
For many farmers facing increasing demand and declining soil fertility, pesticides have become an almost indispensable tool in maintaining productivity. However, concerns are growing over the misuse of these substances.
The target is what is being planted and at what stage. How long should we wait after application before harvesting a product before we can enjoy the fruit of a product?
The effects of such negligence are often quickly visible, affecting not only human health through contaminated food, but also damaging plants and degrading soil quality.
Some major cancers are often linked to excess consumption of certain pesticides. There can be residues left on crops, and when consumed, these can have harmful effect on human health. There is also an impact on the soil. If pesticides are not used properly, it can lead to biodiversity destruction.
Despite these dangers, eliminating pesticides entirely remains a complex challenge. As a result, awareness campaigns and stricter adherence to safety regulations are increasingly seen as essential measures. The responsibility lies largely with farmers and agricultural stakeholders to balance productivity with the production of human health and the environment.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, it is the 6 p.m. news over Camdis Television. Let's now take a tour out of the country to get updates of what make news. As you heard in one of our lead stories, escalating hostilities between Iran, the United States, and Israel has gone beyond or extended beyond their direct confrontation, drawing the United Arab Emirates into the fallout as the regional regional power struggle intensifies, the United Arab Emirates is faced with deadly consequences and growing insecurity, challenging its reputation for stability. Second stop will be in Guinea-Bissau and then South Sudan. These stories are compiled in the following report. The United Arab Emirates found itself caught in the escalating Middle East conflict after Iranian missiles and drones targeted sites linked to U.S. interests, shaking Dubai's image as a secure, tax-free haven for foreigners and investors. As tensions between Iran, the United States, and Israel intensified, Emirati officials reported that debris from intercepted weapons sparked fires near major landmarks and luxury hotels. One person was killed at the Abu Dhabi International Airport and 7 others were injured. The Defense Ministry stated that air defense systems intercepted hundreds of missiles and drones over 2 days, while authorities reassured residents and visitors that security remains a top priority. In Guinea-Bissau, the two main opposition parties have publicly called for dialogue with the military junta that seized power in a November 2025 coup, seeking a resolution to the deepening political crisis. The ruling body, known as the Haut Commandement Militaire pour la Restauration de la Sécurité Nationale et de l'Ordre Public, overthrew President Umaru Sissoko Embalo and suspended the electoral process, prompting growing tensions over the country's constitutional future. Opposition figures, including allies of Domingo Simões Pereira, have rejected the junta's offer to join a transitional government, describing it as inadequate, while regional bloc economic community of West African states continues to press for restraint and a swift return to civilian rule. The United Nations has reported that dozens of civilians were killed in French violence in northern South Sudan over the past 48 hours as clashes erupted near the Sudan border. The United Nations mission in South Sudan, UNMISS, said unidentified armed youth attacked the area, leaving at least 23 wounded and forcing more than 8,000 people to seek refuge at a UN base. UNMISS chief called for an immediate ceasefire, while UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk warned that rising tensions between President Salva Kiir and the first Vice President Riek Machar risked plunging the country back into full-scale civil war. And it is with that news out of the country, ladies and gentlemen, that we set the curtains to our 6 p.m. news over Camdis Television. It was a pleasure staying with you, but do not go nowhere. Up next is Select 2, a presentation of Tabi Clarkson. Stay tuned.